Hello, just give me a second. Hi guys, Jackie M here with another edition of Live Asian Kitchen. Let me make sure everything's sorted. Audio off. Live. Audio off. Let me know if you can hear me okay, guys. I didn't realize until about 7 minutes in the last time I was cooking that you guys couldn't actually hear me. So let me know if you've got any problems hearing me. Just let me share this across a couple of platforms. And say hello, let me know where you're watching from. What's showing up here? I'm trying to clear my work area a little bit. Okay. Let me go to Discord. Oops. Reopen tab. Live, everyone. What really annoys me with Facebook is that every time I am live streaming, it doesn't give me the option to reshare it within that same screen itself. I have to go and open up another tab to be able to do that. So say hello guys, let me know where you're watching from. Let me just bring up Priscilla. Hi, how you doing? Share. I'm trying to monitor the chat coming in from all these different platforms, so if you are watching, let me know where you're watching from. I am, why is this not auto rotating? Okay, let me just share this on Periscope where everybody hates me. Share on your timeline. Live Asian Kitchen with Jackie M. I don't want to say streaming now on Facebook because every time I do, people think like whether they watch it 2 days later that it's actually live. So it's not easy, you know. Okay, let me just move a couple of things away. So Periscope. Let me see if I can share Periscope from my desktop. Thanks for your patience, everyone. Just say hello. Let me know you're around. Periscope. Jackie M. So today I'm going to be making, well, my pages are loading, and I'm sorry, this is not the sort of stuff that I can actually prepare ahead of time, right guys? So it's not like I am disorganized, though to be fair I am. So today I'm going to be making, well, my pages are loading, and I'm sorry, this is not the sort of stuff that I can actually prepare ahead of time, right guys? So it's not like I am disorganized, though to be fair I am. So today I'm going to be making, well, my pages are loading, and I'm sorry, this is not the sort of stuff that I can actually prepare ahead of time, right guys? So it's not like I am disorganized, though to be fair I am. So today I'm going to be making, well, my pages are loading, and I'm sorry, this is not the sort of stuff that I can actually prepare ahead of time, right, guys? So it's not like I am disorganized, though to be fair, I am. So today I'm going to be making, well, my pages are loading, and I'm sorry, this is not the sort of stuff that I can actually prepare ahead of time, right, guys? So it's not like I am disorganized, though to be fair, I am. So today I'm going to be making, well, my pages are loading, and I'm sorry, this is not the sort of stuff that I can actually prepare ahead of time, right, guys? So it's not like I am disorganized, though to be fair, I am. So today I'm going to be making, well, my pages are loading, and I'm sorry, this is not the sort of stuff that I can actually prepare ahead of time, right, guys? So it's not like I am disorganized, though to be fair, I am. So today I'm going to be making, well, my pages are loading, and I'm sorry, this is not the sort of stuff that I can actually prepare ahead of time, right, guys? So it's not like I am disorganized, though to be fair, I am. So today I'm going to be making, well, my pages are loading, and I'm sorry, this is not the sort of stuff that I can actually prepare ahead of time, right, guys? So it's not like I am disorganized, though to be fair, I am. So today I'm going to be making, well, my pages are loading, and I'm sorry, this is not the sort of stuff that I can actually prepare ahead of time, right, guys? So it's not like I am disorganized, though to be fair, I am. So today I'm going to be making, well, my pages are loading, and I'm sorry, this is not the sort of stuff that I can actually prepare ahead of time, right, guys? So it's not like I am disorganized, though to be fair, I am. So today I'm going to be making, well, my pages are loading, and I'm sorry, this is not the sort of stuff that I can actually prepare ahead of time, right, guys? So it's not like I am disorganized, though to be fair, I am. So today I'm going to be making, well, my pages are loading, and I'm sorry, this is not the sort of stuff that I can actually prepare ahead of time, right, guys? So it's not like I am disorganized, though to be fair, I am. So today I'm going to be making, well, my pages are loading, and I'm sorry, this is not the sort of stuff that I can actually prepare ahead of time, right, guys? So it's not like I am disorganized, though to be fair, I am. So today I'm going to be making, well, my pages are loading, and I'm sorry, this is not the sort of stuff that I can actually prepare ahead of time, right, guys? So it's not like. Okay, let me know if it's any different now. Any problems? Okay. Okay, let me know if it's still a problem. I'm going to have to kill Facebook. Okay, I'm not sure if you're talking. I wasn't talking, no, I was trying to, you're real soft now. Okay, how is it now? Because I was just stepping away to kill Facebook. Because the problem is when you're trying to multi-stream is that Facebook doesn't allow you to actually stream using a third-party app directly onto the platform. You have to actually copy the unique stream key, start up a new session on Facebook, close down your streaming software and restarting it up again. You barely hear me. Okay, let's have a look. Barely hear me. Let's have a look. Rode microphone. Why are you playing up? Okay. My volume is almost like max. Okay, how is it now? I've just unmuted something. Let me know if it's still a problem. Sorry guys. Still really soft. Still really soft. This is really odd. Okay, let me just didn't notice a difference. Okay, well, I switched out. Okay, how is it now? No, unfollows and the thing pops up. I'm gonna jump. Is it any better? Because something's just popped up now. Still really soft? Better? Alright. Yeah, I don't know if it's my USB connection, my USB port or something like that. Is it better? Is it tolerable better, or is it still really soft? This is frustrating. Softer than usual, louder than it was a few seconds before. Let me have a look at the audio settings. Oh, maxed up. Audio output. Is it? Can you guys work with this, or do you want me to kill this and then tweak it again and then start all over, or what do you reckon? I've got the microphone right in front of me, so I don't know what the problem is, unless it's a problem with my USB cord or my USB port or something like that. So now it's right in front of me and it should be super loud. And if it's not, I think it's fine. All right, guys, so I had to kill Facebook, no Facebook stream, and Periscope, I had to restart it, so I don't know if people will see the reshare or not. Nonetheless, hopefully, only watch one stream, this will probably work. So you're watching like half a dozen streams as usual, Seal Whiskey. Yeah, I don't know what else. I haven't changed any settings at all. The other days, you guys had problems hearing me. Apparently, I was mute for the first 7 minutes, and I didn't know. And then, like, in the process, I ended up, I think, disabling the microphone. I ended up using the Logitech speakers. I'm currently on 4. It's not even super loud when you put it in front of your mouth. That's very odd. Let me just scroll it up again. Add audio. Okay, it's got the Rode microphone here. Okay. Remove. Okay, I hope I haven't messed anything up, because I don't know, for whatever reason, the Rode microphone, never seen you on live. Doris Sweet, how you doing? You should speak with Rode and get one of those clip-on mics. It's live. I left a message for Rode and they didn't respond. This was about something else, so I'm not gonna hassle them too much, unfortunately. I don't know if it's time of the year, but what happened with Rode microphones is, because I've still got, like, Rode gave me 10 microphones to give away to my audience. I've worked with them on and off for about 5 years now. But then when I offered my Rode microphones as giveaway, another Twitch streamer contacted me and say, hey, can I hook them up? So I did an introduction to them, to Rode with them, and since then I haven't heard from Rode. I rang and left a voicemail and they haven't called me back, so it's a little bit awkward. Let me know how the audio is at the moment, right? So yeah, if you still have any problems, let me know, but hopefully it's better now. And welcome, Doris Sweet, and sorry I had to kill all my Facebook viewers. I usually get a decent crowd on Facebook now, but it's so involved trying to actually stream to Facebook, because I use a third-party service that's connected to all my different accounts: YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, and Facebook. And every time I go stream to that account, restream.io, it then pushes it out to all of them. But unfortunately, Facebook refuses to let any third-party apps to be able to stream natively into Facebook like that now. Stream automatically. So what they want you to do is go into Facebook, go into a special page, and then copy the stream key, which is a really, really long string of gobbledygook, right? And then you're gonna paste it into Restream in the configuration you set up for Facebook, and then you're gonna close down XSplit and restart XSplit for it to take effect, right? And it's fine as long as there's no technical problems. But as soon as something goes wrong, you have to do it all over again. You can't actually just, like what I just did, I just killed off the restream stream, so it cut off everything. But when I restarted, because I didn't go through that whole process with Facebook all over again, it's now only streaming to Twitch, YouTube, and Periscope. All right, so damn you, Facebook. I'm very annoyed. Yeah, all right, guys. So today I'm going to be trying to cover a few different things. And first of all, it's Hainanese bread, right? And I'm going to like skip over what Hainanese bread is quickly until I've got some time to talk, because I want to really fast track this a little bit. But essentially what I want to get started on is to make the roux for which is almost like a starter for the bread. All right, so it's pretty easy. I just need like 100 mils of water and 25 grams of flour. And I'm just using good old plain flour over here. It's my... Okay, so this plain flour, Australian plain flour, I'm going to actually boost it with some gluten later on to make it, turn it into something more akin to gluten flour, which is high protein flour, right? So I want to actually weigh 25 grams. You know, in all honesty, this thing is no good for weighing small amounts. I've got this Thermomix, which I love to death, except that for whatever reason, its inbuilt scales just fails on me all the time. So the idea with the inbuilt scales is that, like, is that you can just leave this bowl in the unit, turn on the scales, and it'll automatically weigh everything for you. But unfortunately, it died within a couple of weeks of me buying this Thermomix, and then I didn't get it fixed for like over a year. Finally got to the trouble of actually sending the whole unit back to their repair place to be repaired. They fixed it, and then after 2 uses it failed again. So I don't particularly want to... This thing is like a 10-kilo unit with the thing, and with all the padding, and with all the stuff that you got to print out for it to you know, to get sent off. And then you got to pick it up from the post office, which is a drive away from me, and I live on the top floor. I live on this top floor apartment with no elevator, so I didn't really want to have to climb all the way up with this thing after dragging it all the way back from the post office. So I give up. I figured I'll just use this mechanical scale, but unfortunately this mechanical scale only goes up to, well, only weighs like large denominations, like basically it starts from 200 grams onwards. So what I'm doing here essentially is putting about 100 mils of water in with about 25 grams of flour, and then I'm going to essentially cook it, all right? Stir it in my Thermomix at 60, I'm gonna keep it at 60 degrees for about 5 minutes. And what you should end up with is kind of like a slurry, sticky mixture, right? So 60 degrees. Okay. So 5 minutes, and that's the great thing about using something like a Thermomix or a thermocook. You can set the time, you can set the speed of the blade, and you can set the temperature. So it's just doing that for me. And in the meantime, I want to get together the flour ingredients for the bread, right? And this time I am going to use this mechanical scale, and I want equivalent to about 400 grams of flour, but because I'm using plain flour, I'm going to use a little bit less of the plain flour, but I will boost it with some, like I said, some gluten flour, which provides which basically adds gluten to the plain flour content. All right, traditionally you would just buy bread flour from your supermarket, but that costs a lot more, and like, you know, so I can buy gluten flour from my Asian grocery store, because the Asians use gluten flour to make vegetarian, like mock meat and stuff like that, which are very chewy. Okay, so if you're familiar with Asian mock meats and all that sort of stuff, that's what gluten flour is. Gluten flour, gluten flour is used to make it, and you can buy it at Asian grocery stores, especially if you know what to ask for, right? Because I have a good working relationship. I don't actually read Chinese. I can speak Chinese. I don't actually read or write it, but thanks to my having dealt with sorry, just reading some messages. But thanks to my having dealt with like my Asian grocery supplier for years and years, we managed to communicate one way or another. All right, so I found this gluten flour, and this is what it looks like. And if you, I think it's got Chinese written on it. Let me have a look. No, maybe it doesn't. Okay, but it just looks like an off-color type of flour. All right, so instead of 400 grams of flour, I'm going to say use about 380 grams. And I feel a desperate need for coffee, so I might go and run off and make myself a cup of coffee in this short while. Okay, so that takes me up to 400 grams. But the other thing I'm going to add as well, this is a bread improver. I hope it still works, because like I said, I haven't actually made any bread for at least 6 months now. But this is bread improver. Okay, and I bought it from eBay. Okay, I just have a look on eBay for, I mean, you can't, well, not in Australia anyway, you can't buy bread improver at your local supermarket, you know, well, not that I've seen anyway. So I bought this on eBay, and what it does, it just provides a much nicer texture to your bread, ultimately, okay? So I've thrown some of that in. I probably should have weighed that. I can't remember if I used to. I used to bake bread like probably about 3 times a week. For maybe about a 3-4 month period, I was doing that, and then I kind of got over it. So I haven't baked any bread for months and months now. Laura, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks, Laura. So yeah, guys, I'm trying to monitor the chats coming in from all directions, but Twitch is essentially my primary platform. So this is where it all happens, okay? So got the bread improver, got the gluten, and I've got the plain flour. I'm just gonna add some water to this, and I want about 225 milliliters of water. So this is about 500, so just about a little bit under half of that. You can tell I'm not great at measuring things, you know. Okay, whoops, I probably have put in a little bit too much. We'll see how we go. And I probably should have actually, in all honesty, it's only just occurred to me now, I should have actually left some of the water out, because there's some water in this already, so it may actually end up a little bit runny. We'll see how we go anyway. Who knows, who knows. Let's move this, and I want some butter in here as well, so I'm going to grab some butter and some salt, yeah? And actually some yeast as well. Yeast, salt, and a bit of butter. Let me just check how much I needed. Okay, I needed about 50 grams of butter. Right, that's about 1.5 ounces. I'm totally, like I said, I'm totally lazy about measuring things. I don't do a lot of baking. I don't do a lot of like you know, stuff that require exact measurements, so I don't measure things exactly. I need about 8 grams of okay, so this creates, okay, it needs a little bit more whipping, so I'm going to throw it back in because it's not completely dissolved properly. But this in theory should create like a slurry that once mixed into your original bread mixture will produce like a much softer result, right? Let me just, I'm going to turn it up a little bit to 65 degrees, and I'm going to beat it a little bit faster. And also in the meantime, I'm going to turn on my little oven over here. Temperature. I'm trying to remember what the proofing temperature should be. Okay, we'll just start. Right, so okay, yeast, this is the yeast that I use, instant dried yeast. What's cooking? Right now I'm trying to make some bread. This is something called Hainanese bread, which is a type of bread you used to get in the Chinese coffee shops in Malaysia, right? And the point of difference is that it's extremely light and fluffy, and it rises like virtually like a tower. And that's how I like it, but you can't buy it here in Australia. I'm just gonna throw in some salt as well, okay? So in here we've got salt, we've got yeast, we've got butter, we've got flour and water, or you can use milk as well. I'm just using water. So I'm gonna actually just work this in the dough mixer. Hopefully that's not too loud, guys. I mean, the benefit of like you guys having audio problems, well, me having audio problems is that hopefully you can't hear all the machines going off in the background. So I've got actually this bread tin here. Now, if you're eating, when we have Hainanese bread in Malaysia, the bread tins should actually be straight up, all right? They shouldn't be like kind of like, how do you say it? They shouldn't kind of like lean in like this. So the bread should actually be straight and tall, right, like this, okay? More akin to this one here, the smaller one, but this is too small. And in fact, if I actually let it rise to how high I want it to rise, they always say you let the bread rise till it's doubled in bulk, but I actually, for Hainanese bread, I actually really like to let it rise until it's triple at least in height, which is why it takes a little bit of a long time to do this. So like I said, I'm just trying to show you guys the process of doing all this, right, to start with. And then, like, if we can't get to it by the end to see the end result, I'll just post a picture on Discord. Speaking of which, the Discord server is bit.ly/discordjackie. That's where you can find me. And let's see how this is looking. Okay, so that's the roux. It's still not mixed in properly. After all my hoo-ha about I could probably like beat this a little bit faster, right? But what we want to achieve is kind of like a sticky, pasty, gummy texture. Okay, so let's throw it back in. And I'm gonna actually zip it really fast now. Okay, my bread is really sloppy at the moment. So first of all, I put a little bit too much water to start with, and also in doing so, I actually forgot that I was going to add the roux. I didn't, like for a while when I was making this bread, I didn't do the roux separately because I thought it'll be easier just to throw it in the oven, let it rise, you know, it will rise eventually anyway. So in trying to reinstate that step, I forgot to actually compensate for the water that is in the roux. Okay, so this is already too soft. I'm gonna add a little bit more flour to this. And work it some more. And in the meantime, this is that pasty roux thing I was talking about. So we want to let this go back down to room temperature in theory. Though in all honesty, the times that I have actually used the roux, I've actually just thrown it straight in. But let's do it properly this time around, because I haven't made this for a long time, and I wanna be sure that there's no there are as few points of failure as possible. Okay, but you see the roux, usually they suggest that if you don't have a Thermomix or something where you can control the temperature, they would say to do this over a stove, but you have to do it very, very gently and hold a thermometer, stick a thermometer in it to make sure it doesn't exceed 65 degrees, okay? But with a Thermomix, you can actually control the temperature. So this is perfectly 65 degrees, cooking in there. I tried Googling Hainanese, it looks like normal white bread. Oh, come on, Edge of Night. How long have you been out of Malaysia? It is like normal white bread, but it's a lot fluffier. It's very, 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 very light. It rises very high, okay? So real Hainanese bread should be extremely, extremely light and fluffy. And in Malaysia, what they used to do was actually cut it really thick, right? About nearly about like an inch thick. And then they would grill it on charcoal fire, okay? So they'll serve it with kaya, which is the coconut jam that I'm going to make next. And then, yeah, and then it's served like extremely thick, and then it's cut at an angle, so you get two, because the bread rises so high, instead of getting a square piece of white bread, you get a piece of bread that's like this, oblong, all right? And then they'll cut it at an angle sort of thing, so you get two, like almost like, pentagonal shaped, but if you know what I mean, well, two four-sided shapes, but not rectangular sort of thing. So yeah, use the sugars, fats, see your whiskey. Though to be fair, Hainanese bread in Singapore, they cut it thin. All right, so when you have kaya toast in Singapore, their bread looks like regular bread. But in Malaysia, in my part of Malaysia, certainly anyway, Hainanese bread rises much higher, so it looks like white bread, but the texture is quite different when you actually bite into it, okay? When we first came to Australia, there are a lot of Vietnamese bread shops here in Australia, right? And my stepmom used to say, oh, I'll just try this particular type of bread loaf, you know, it'll be the same. And I've tried all of them, none of them actually taste the same as Hainanese bread. And unfortunately, unless you've lived in Malaysia, you don't know the difference. And unfortunately, a lot of Malaysians are ignorant of this whole point of difference as well. They think it's just regular white bread because that's the only bread they really eat. Because Malaysians don't generally, well, in my generation anyway, Malaysians didn't always have like a loaf of bread sitting at home to make sandwiches with. We didn't eat that much bread. When we did, we went to the coffee shop, the Hainanese coffee shop, what we call kopitiam, to have the bread. So to us, that was bread, okay? So when you come to Australia and you have a different type of bread, you just think it's a different type of bread. But if you want to recreate the kopitiam bread, this is the recipe you want. Light blue. I have thought of it. I know. You know what? I'm trying to think. Should I? I don't want to mess up this rest. Yeah. I'll do it with the next loaf because I haven't done this for at least 6 months. So I want to make sure I do it properly. See, this is looking really sludgy. So already I'm running into problems with it. All right. But I have made this, like I said, like many times in the past. I used to make it like at least 3 times a week when we were going through this bread phase, right? And like using exactly the same recipe, because what I used to do on my day off, like I would like basically use all the different flours that go into this recipe. I would actually bag up the flours and the yeast and everything all together, like in separate lots, separate batches. So I'll have a shelf full of all these bags of bread mixes, right? And I'll just toss it in, add the water, and then let it go. And despite having done them all at the same time, so theoretically I didn't have an off day with any particular, like whatever, you know, ingredients, they'll all turn out different. So it can be a little bit flaky. That's why I'm not too focused on measuring everything to the nth degree, you know, because even when I do, they don't always turn out. And a lot of time it might have something to do with just like the humidity in the air or something like that. Okay, let's have a look. I second that suggestion, the blue. See, it's still very, it should not look like this, alright? It should actually look, It should actually look doughy. Okay, so this is way too sticky already. And I only put in like 25 mils too much water because it's not like I kind of like accidentally tipped too much water. 25 mils is like, you know, 2 tablespoons of water. So it goes to show. Let's throw in more flour, and this time I'm going to throw in more gluten as well. God help me if this doesn't work out. And remember, I still haven't added the roux yet. Okay, let's do this. You know what? Maybe I'll put the blue in the roux, all right? Maybe. Okay. There you go. And Edge and I'm sorry you haven't received your thingo yet, but yours does actually have tracking, so she's checking at the post office. Soybean Jenny hasn't got her blue powder either. In case you guys are wondering what we're talking about, these were some giveaways that we offered a few weeks ago. And we had 10 winners, and basically they got like a bag full of like a number of different blue flower powder ingredients. And blue flower powder is a very like highly desired Malaysian flower extract that we use in some of our cooking to produce this blue hue to some of our Malaysian dishes, right? But a couple of people haven't received them, and Freeway Pirate got yours. Okay, see, Freeway Pirate got theirs. But yeah, so far someone in Canada hasn't got theirs, and someone in the USA hasn't got theirs. I don't know if anyone else hasn't got theirs, but it's been a good 5-6 weeks, so it should not have taken that long. Okay, so I've added some into the roux. Okay, so if this looks horrible, I'm gonna blame you guys. All right. Okay, so with the gluten, it's looking a lot better. Here's the gluten by its nature absorbs more water. Okay, so anytime you handle anything that's high gluten, it will actually handle more water. Okay, so that's one way to kind of help it absorb it up. Has anyone sent any pics yet? It'd be fun to see. I know, right? Nobody. Everybody's slack. It's like once they get theirs, it's like sayonara. I think this one mommy was going to do something with it, and she was going to send some. So we'll see. But until a couple of days ago, I thought that Edge of Night was the only person who hasn't received theirs. So there's the roux. Okay, so it's just flour and water, and now some blue powder extract that I'm adding to this bread dough. And I'm going to mix it up, and in theory this roux starter thing for the bread is meant to essentially create a softer, fluffier dough. Okay, like I said, I have done this in the past for making Hainanese bread. I didn't always do it. Okay, so let's speed it up. This is a pretty blue, right? I hope the blue doesn't come out like sprinkle in a bad way. Kind of blue fish balls might look like my blue fish balls. Yeah, remember they look like yeah. Blue cheese bread. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, blue cheese bread. Good idea. That's what it looks like, basically. So we kind of, well, Alex kind of thought, Alex is the person who sponsored this giveaway, and she kind of thought that it might have been customs holding it, like, you know, or confiscating it. But I would have thought that if other people in the USA have received theirs, that I don't know. It's hard to say, but ultimately, if she can resolve it, well and good. If she can't resolve it, we're gonna send a second set, but without the blue tea. Okay, so in lieu of the blue tea, I'll offer something at my end, whatever it might be, something that doesn't weigh a ton, so I don't have to pay for the postage. Next time there's a problem with next time there's a problem with giveaways, I'm gonna make the giveaway sponsors to actually cover any kind of like problem with it, right? Because I don't want to be stuck having to reimburse people if they don't get it. Right, that's going. So the other thing I want to make, just give me a second while I go in the kitchen and wash this up, because I'm going to make kaya, which is a Malaysian coconut pandan jam, alright? And again, I'm cheating, I'm using the Thermomix for that. Why the blue tea might get confiscated, because it's got like herbs and stuff like that. Like this one, the blue powder, the blue powder is like kind of basically packed in these sachets, so it's like straight out of the manufacturer's kind of like production line, whereas the blue tea are kind of like handmade little sachets of tea. All right, so that's what they look like, and they contain like lemongrass and a bunch of all these really kind of like you know, rustic looking wood chips. They look like wood chips, they're not. But I guess maybe that might kind of like catch the attention of the people at the Border Protection. Don't know, we're just guessing at this point. And by the way, my dough looks like it needs more flour and gluten again. And I'm actually going to throw a little bit more yeast in it too, by the way. Okay, this is what it looks like so far. And the blue has almost completely disappeared from it. So I'm going to sprinkle some more blue into it. More flour. What did I do with the blue? Okay, more blue flower extract. Okay, and more gluten. Maybe a bit more bread and kruger as well. very random, as you can tell. Okay, so I'm gonna make kaya now. I need sugar. And let me just pull up my recipe again. And I need some eggs. Sugar. Okay, so I need 250 grams sugar, 3 large eggs, 200 ml coconut cream, and 30 ml pandan juice, right? 90 degrees. I just realized that I edited the recipe and then messed it up in the edit, so I need to go and fix it up. This was on my website, and in all honesty, I actually originally made kaya in a Thermomix, but then I wrote the recipe and adapted it for the Thermocook and published that one. And then subsequently, I actually, because Thermomix and Thermocook, Thermocook is a competitor to Thermomix. Let me have a look. Yeah, Thermocook is a competitor to Thermomix, and in theory they both work the same, but there are always like minor tweaks, all right, that you got to take into account. So I developed a recipe for the Thermomix and then just kind of like posted it as a Thermocook recipe. And subsequently, when I actually did use it for the Thermocook, I found that it needed some tweaking, and I went into the recipe and tweaked it, and I tweaked it wrong. So just give me a second. I'm going to edit it. Okay, hopefully that will do. So I need 3 eggs. Let me go and grab that. And the last time I made kaya here, I actually did a version without the egg white, right? And also I made it blue. And no, I wouldn't eat it because it was blue. It was too intensely blue. It ended up looking like a slate color. Just add this. Okay, so I need 250 grams of sugar. Okay, 600. So just white sugar. Right, and I need 200 mils of coconut cream, right? And 200 mils, about 200, just a bit more than 200 grams, I suppose. Okay, let me just double check quickly. and then I need some pandan juice. All right. If you're Malaysian, you'll know what pandan juice is. And apparently, Nigella Lawson, who's a famous British chef, she has suddenly discovered pandan. Okay, so you guys have no reason not to know what pandan is. But pandan essentially is how I've described for many years now as kind of like an Asian vanilla, right? It's actually a kind of like leaf that you can get. It grows wild all over on like side of the road and all that in Malaysia. And what they look like thin long blades. And what we use them for is that we use it in either both sweet or savory cooking, more so sweet than savory, in all kinds of different forms. And one of the forms that we use it in is by actually pounding the leaves to extract this green coloring. All right. What I do is I basically cut up the leaves, throw it in a blender with some water, and then blitz it, and then strain it out. And this is what I end up getting in the end. All right, this is the pandan extract, and it should look a nicer green than this. It's just it's been sitting in my fridge for a while. Okay, but there you go. In that goes. Okay, and what we're gonna do now? So it's got coconut cream, it's got sugar, it's got eggs, and it's got the pandan extract. We're gonna blitz this, and then we're gonna cook it in the Thermomix for about 30 minutes. All right, let's do this. Okay, there you go. This is what this looks like now. It looks pretty good, right? It looks very springy. So a little bit on the soft side, but we're gonna cover it up now and let it rise till it bulks up basically, and then we're gonna have to knead it again. That's kind of like one of the painful things about bread baking, that you're gonna like, you know, let it rise. I'm gonna beat it down. I'm gonna like knead it again, and then you're gonna let it rise again. Okay, so it's a little bit involved. I'm gonna get something to cover this with, because it will, you don't want it to create a crust. So let me just do that. Okay, I've run out of all these covers. Okay, this is what I used to buy. This looks like a shower cap, but this is actually for food producers sort of thing. So I used to buy this at like a catering distributor sort of thing, that allows you to just cover things up. So that's my dinky little tabletop oven. It's quite small. Can you see the blue at all? No. No. The thing is though, what I found with the blue powder is that the color intensifies, you know. So a number of times I've used it in some of the recipes, like the soon kueh that I made a few weeks ago. I kept adding more and more of the blue powder, thinking it just looked too subtle. But when I actually steamed it, the end product looked really like kind of like a really strong blue. And same with the kaya that I made using the blue powder. It ended up looking like this really intensely like slate green color. Seal whiskey. No, not this time around. We're talking about the blue powder. Look guys, I'm just gonna grab myself a cup of coffee, and also then I'm going to move on to something else. I've got these barramundi fillets that I'm trying to use up, right? And I buy them in a bag, like 1 kilo bag, and the fillets are individually packed, and I've used them in a couple of recipes so far, but I want to actually be a little bit creative in how I use them, because what I find with the barramundi fillets is that the skin seems to be really rubbery. So I want to fillet the skin and then actually try and fry it up, see if I can crisp it up to something that will, you know, be pretty impressive, hopefully. But yeah, Sea of Whiskey, if you've got any ideas, you know, with that, let me know. But I saw a recipe in one of my cookbooks for fish skin, okay? Unfortunately, I don't have some of the ingredients, but essentially it calls for deep frying, like kind of like fish skin, albeit not barramundi. So I don't know if barramundi's skin is unique in the sense that it's extremely rubbery. But it basically calls for creating these snacks, right, made from fish skin that's then tossed in this kind of like crumbly savory mix that's made from crushed crackers. That sounds really interesting, right? So I wanted to have a go at that, but unfortunately I don't have any crackers to crush. So I thought, look, let's just fry up the fish, and then we'll try and see if we can do something with the meat as well. Okay. So let me grab my coffee first. Sorry guys, I just I haven't been 100% since I caught that stupid damn flu. But anyway, this coffee, I boiled the water, but it's not hot, so I'm gonna throw it in the microwave. So I'll do that. Alright, so fish, okay, you can see I threw in the eggshells in there. I'm trying to, alright, I know this looks gross. Here we go. And by the way guys, I've got an exciting announcement, alright, another giveaway. Let me just see if I can pull it up for you guys. Let me have a look. Let's have a look. Okay. Has anyone heard of the One Ground footwear brand? Anyone? I hadn't, obviously it's American. One Ground footwear brand. Let me see if I can pull up. Nope, you haven't heard of it? One Ground luxury footwear brand based in New York. You're not too far away. Okay, it's a luxury leather sneaker manufacturer, all right? Their newest line is something called the Camilo. It's worth a lot of money, guys. And they're giving me a pair to give away to my audience. I didn't ask for a pair for myself. They asked me if I can help promote it. I said, yeah, offer a pair for my audience. Okay, so they say, yeah. So there you go. If you Google onegroundfootwear.com, that's their website. Let me see if I can pull it up. But it's basically like sneakers that are designed around, let me have a look. They're sneakers. I know it's got nothing to do with food, but what the hell. Sneakers inspired by the Brooklyn Bridge, alright? So this might appeal to some of you guys. But they are not cheap. And they look super cool. And now I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should have asked for a pair for myself. Let me just grab a screen grab of it. Screen capture. Okay. Did it grab it? No? Remove. Okay. copy, save image as. They look nice, right? I know. The Camillo range is the one they're promoting, I think. Let me just read out what they sent me. Here we go. 1 ground launches. Okay. 1 ground footwear's new sneaker collection. Luxury leather sneaker company 1 ground today announced their newest line, the Camillo. Inspired by the iconic Brooklyn Bridge, it's available for pre-order via their website, so it's not actually even available yet. The shoe is handcrafted at the company's factory in Spain with high-quality Italian leather and 778 stitches. New collection is available in both high and low top, 9 different colors. Also features a patent-pending internal gore system, ensuring a snug fit that makes tying up the laces optional. Right? It's inspired by Brooklyn's signature suspension bridge, the Camillo's quilted ribs designed to mirror the steel cables of the bridge, while the trim is inspired by the bridge's 2 granite towers. The team was inspired after spending long hours at their office in Dumbo, looking out at their view of the Brooklyn Bridge. So there you go, the Camillo. And it was, the founder is someone called Eamon Walsh. Eamon is the oldest of 6, and his family could only afford to provide him with 1 pair of used shoes every year. He cultivated an eye for craftsmanship by picking out the most durable and utilitarian pair of shoes he could find on the family's annual trip to Goodwill. This developed Eamon's passion for footwear, where he spent the good part of the last 10 years in the industry, has the opportunity to work in the factory floors and build out the digital experience for iconic fashion brands. So there you go. These experiences led him to conceive 1 ground. The Camillo is 1 ground's second shoe. First collection was the product of a successful Kickstarter campaign, right? So they're based in Brooklyn, and they asked me to help promote it. Hey, this one, Mummy. So I was just reading out the latest giveaway. I'm actually about to, let me just grab my coffee. I'm actually just about to make the kaya, but using my Thermomix. Let me just zip this. Who's based in Brooklyn? What did I miss? You missed my announcement about the latest giveaway that I've secured for you guys. I don't even have a pair, all right? It's a pair of shoes. It's called the Camillo, which is the second product of the ranks by a company called 1 Ground Footwear, launched by a gentleman by the name of Eamon Walsh. And they are signature, basically like very, very like exclusive leather sneakers. They're worth hundreds of dollars, guys. They're not cheap, all right? They're not $50 sneakers. They're luxury shoes, yeah. As a shoe giveaway. I know, right? Hey, look, I'll take what I can get. They reached out to me because what happened is that I get given free stuff, all right? This is what I got given in the past. Here we go. So basically, what I was sent out for free in the past was this one here. This was a Kickstarter campaign for a, for this bag, right? Which was a huge success. And I got sent one of these out for free. And the same company also sent me their second product, which is also a Kickstarter campaign, all right? They're really, in all honesty, for like kind of like metro guys who travel, right? Because this thing here, this is called the Alpaca, by the way, A-L-P-A-K-A, messenger bag, right? So it's got like lots and lots of compartments. So these were sent out to me, and I ended up writing a blog post about it. So this sneaker company contacted me and said they saw my blog post about this product, right? And they asked if I could help promote their shoes. So I said, yeah, look, I'll give you a shout out. I like the backpack. I know it's cool, right? This one, Mommy, the shoe's called the, let me check the URL, because unfortunately the link they sent me was actually wrong. And that's the thing about some of these companies. 1 ground footwear. Okay, so this is the URL. Let me just move this away. 1groundfootwear.com. Okay, 1groundfootwear.com is their website. And the shoes are basically inspired by the Brooklyn Bridge. They're made from high quality Italian leather, handcrafted in Spain, and yeah, so that's going to be one of my upcoming giveaways, right? And I'm sure since they're based in America, I'm sure they'll be more than happy to ship it out your part of the world, okay? But anyone here from Sydney or from New South Wales, I have other giveaways for you guys. As you know, I'm sick and tired of regurgitating all these giveaways. But the shoes I'm kind of quite excited about, alright? So hopefully, yeah, I'll make a proper announcement about the shoes because of their dollar value. And I need to make a proper announcement about the barbecues as well. If you're in Australia, you qualify. If you follow me on Twitch, if you're watching this anywhere else, you need to follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/JackieMFood, alright? And that will automatically qualify you to be in the running for all my giveaways. And I give away a whole bunch of stuff, right? So some are region restricted because of the sponsors of the giveaway, some are not, right? And one of the other non-region restricted giveaways, I've put it away now, is for the Satay Boys satay sauce, Vietnamese satay sauce, not Malaysian, Indonesian satay sauce. No peanut in it. Satay sauce is almost like a Vietnamese sambal, really. Okay, so this fish, okay, individually packed, frozen barramundi fillets. And I've found the number of times I've used it in some of the recipes I've done live on air that the skin tends to be like really, really chewy, even when it's fried up. Like I've used it in the tom yum fish recipe, and also I used it in a barbecue fish recipe recently, which wasn't on Twitch, but it was in one of my videos. By the way, guys, if you want to look up Asian barbecue recipes, go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/JackieM. All right, no food, just Jackie M. And I've got a series of 8 Asian barbecue recipes there in a playlist on that channel. So go and check it out. Okay, so let's open this up, right? And we're gonna hopefully be able to peel off the skin as best we can. And I'm gonna start heating up some oil as well. I'm still thinking through how I'm going to do this to produce a good result. Start heating this up over here. Okay, let's do this. It's going to be quite sloppy, all right? Anything that's frozen and defrosted, you're going to find, like, see a little residual water at the bottom. So that's the barramundi fillet. And let's try and cut it out. You're gonna deep fry, yeah. I love ordering crispy fried skin. How do they serve it? Do they just kind of like, is it just salted deep fried fish skin, or does it come with other things? I'm almost inclined to actually see in Malaysia with the fish skin, when we're making fish balls, what we do is actually we use a spoon to scrape off to scrape the flesh off the skin. So let me just try and see if I can do that. Okay, it might be a little bit tough. Okay. There you go. Knife is easier. Besides, if you scrape it off with a spoon, the fish becomes like the fish flesh gets broken up. All right. this one. Like I said, you know, I'm just experimenting here a little bit because I've found from past experience that barramundi's skin seems to be really rubbery. It's great when you steam it, all right? Because usually, in all honesty, as an Asian, we like our steamed barramundi. So it's not usually a problem, but I haven't been steaming mine. I've been like frying them up. Just plain, I'm guessing salt and pepper, properly. Okay, yeah, cropo. Okay, yeah, sure. See, that would be like kind of like, you know, the easy go-to way of making it. So I might just do that. Like I said, I found a recipe that almost makes it into a biscuit, like a cracker thingo, which seems really, really nice because it comes with these like flaky bits, and the flaky bits are from seasoned like crushed crackers. I don't know if I've got the recipe somewhere, but I don't have any crackers to crush. I'm not really. I don't buy snacks at home except for Noah. But then he's got no teeth, so I don't really go to town on snacks in any case. But because he's got no teeth, he can't eat anything like too crunchy. Second one, they've come off easily so far. I've only got 4 pieces here. I didn't do too much. I've got a lot of these frozen barramundi fillets, but I wasn't sure if it was going to turn out. So yeah, if you just joined me, I have got the bread in the background that's proofing at the moment, and I have got kaya that's cooking in my Thermomix at the moment. The proofing bread is Hainanese bread. It's something that we grew up eating in Malaysia, in what we used to call kopitiam in Malaysia, which literally means coffee shop in Chinese, right? In Hainanese Hokkien, one of those dialects. But they're run by a specific ethnic group, specific dialect group in Malaysia. They're called the Hainanese Chinese, and their bread recipe is very, very light and fluffy, all right? So I haven't been able to find anything here in Australia. And for a while, for a period of about 3 or 4 months, I used to make it myself. I haven't for at least 6 months now. Probably a bit longer than that, but I thought I'll have a go at it. People have asked me to make it live on Twitch, but sadly, usually making the bread takes hours and hours. Not because of how long it takes to cook, but more so because you gotta wait for it to proof in between and all that sort of stuff. So we may not see the completion of it. All right, essentially. It's just I've kneaded it. Well, the dough mixer has kneaded it. So I'm waiting for it to now rise up till it's double in size. I'll throw it back in the dough mixer and knead it again, and then I'm gonna let it triple in size. Okay, so all that will take a while. So you might only get a snapshot of it, but it's usually something that I would do over the course of a full day and just kind of like, yeah. Cook it when it's finally tripled in size, and that can take a long time. Okay. And in all honesty, one of my brother's best friends in Malaysia is a Hainanese. Hey, Kettle, how you doing? Hainanese bread, yes. How are you enjoying America, Kettle? Kettle cracks me up. He got us all real good that one time. Okay, this oil that I'm heating up is is like recycled oil, alright? So I'm gonna try and get something to skim off some of the gunk on top. Like those sold by an Indian man. Indian man. Oh my god, you guys are way, way, way too young. Hainanese bread is what they serve with the kaya. But I've never seen an Indian man sell Hainanese bread. But you go to those Chinese kopitiam, those coffee shops, and in my part of Malaysia, they serve it like cut into really thick slices, about 3/4 of an inch thick, right? And they're long because they're so tall. In the proofing process, they rise up so high, they're actually elongated bread, cut into thick slices, and then like toasted on charcoal fire, and then spread with butter and actually big butter chunks actually, which this is fantastic, and a lot of kaya. All right. Before you ask how my dad is, he was a doctor. Yeah, I figured it'd be something like that, Kettle. I'm not sure I'm not the only one. See, I'm not the only one. I know you guys. I thought I was a half-baked Malaysian. You guys are like disgraceful. I'm kidding. Yeah, Kettle. I kind of thought that might have been what happened with your dad. All right. Let me get rid of some of these things, and I shall be back. All right. I remember growing up back in Malaysia, this Indian man will be on his motorbike with loads of bread tied on his bike. I've never seen, yeah, maybe, which part of Malaysia are you from again, this one, Mummy? The, yeah, you know, I can't discount it, but Hainanese bread is made by Hainanese Chinese, all right? Okay, I don't have a lot of skin. I've only got 4 fillets, so that's all the skin I got. I'm gonna drench it with KL. All right, yeah. No, you've lost me. Okay, so as far as the flour, I'm going to use tapioca starch, all right, because it helps to absorb the liquid. But I'm using chicken powder as you do. And it's funny, I came across one of my cookbooks actually does say chicken powder in all their recipes, though they call it chicken essence powder or something like that. So not everyone is not everyone is averse to calling it for what it is. So I was telling everyone how like I use chicken powder in all my recipes, and I boldly proclaim it as well, but it's not very people find it a little bit offensive sometimes. Okay, let's throw this in. So there you go. No egg, all right. I don't generally, when I deep fry anything, I don't generally add egg to it, but you know, usually when you add egg, it becomes like it softens it, I find. I always thought kaya bread, regular white bread made by Chinese people. See, you're as bad as Edge or Night. Well, look, in fairness, that's what I thought. And I came to Australia and I couldn't find the same kind of white bread. But you go, I don't know, maybe it's different. Like, you know how Westerners have their like different types of bread, right? But I have never found a loaf of white bread that's anywhere near. First of all, like how would you even describe it? like, you know, the stretchiness of the bread, like, is different. Like regular white bread here is kind of really soft, and the holes are really small, and they're quite like dense, whereas Hainanese white bread is very stretchy, and also the holes are bigger, if that makes sense. Okay, so here comes the oil. Like I say, it's a recycled oil, so there's a little bit of a unappealing frothing at the top. Let's throw this in. So that's white pepper, chicken powder, and tapioca starch, all right? And the other thing that's different as well, in Malaysia we have the Hainanese bread with the kaya, and then we serve it with soft-boiled eggs, all right? And that's not regular soft-boiled eggs. I bet this one, Mummy and Edge of Night, probably didn't know the difference as well. But your regular Western soft-boiled egg is not the same as the Malaysian soft-boiled egg, all right? So it's basically soft-boiled eggs that's cooked at a temperature of about 70 degrees for about 45 minutes, okay? So usually when you make soft-boiled eggs, you might actually boil it at 100 degrees or whatever for 5 minutes or something like that. But Malaysian soft-boiled eggs, like 65, 70 degrees for 45 minutes or so, give or take. Okay, so what happens is that the egg is not like hard on the outside. Usually Western soft-boiled eggs have like a hard exterior and a runny egg yolk, right? Whereas Malaysian soft-boiled eggs soft all the way through. All right, I had soft-boiled eggs. It's not, see? I knew it, you guys. Heretics. With toast, I had soft-boiled eggs sometimes at Mama stalls. In Malaysia, you mean? Or Alright, so what you want to do in theory is fry this till it stops frothing or come close to it. That's when you know most of the liquid has come out of it, alright? Up to snuff. How you doing? Thanks for following. I didn't really like the soft-boiled eggs in Malaysia. It's too undercooked for me. See? Philistine. But yeah, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, right? It's a kind of like almost like a ritual where you actually have the toast, the Malaysian white bread toast, Hainanese bread toast, with slathered with butter and kaya, which is the coconut jam that I'm making up the back here. And then separately, you'll have like a bowl with soft-boiled eggs, uniquely soft-boiled eggs, all right, not your regular Western soft-boiled eggs. And then what do we serve it with? We serve it with soya sauce and pepper, all right? And the other thing is, see, this is a hi Links, how you doing? And the other thing is that what was going to say? The other thing is there are some people who actually dip their kaya toast, right, the coconut sweet jam toast, in the soft-boiled eggs and eat it like that. I draw the line, right? So I don't do that. Haven't seen you for about a week or so, Hi Links. Have you been all right? Hi Links, you're one of the few, not one of the few, you're one of the lucky people, along with Freeware Pyro, who did receive their blue flower extract. Some people haven't received them yet, after about 5 or 6 weeks. So the whole time I was sick, because I was sick for about 5 or 6 weeks, you guys were all patiently waiting for your blue flower thing. Toast plus kaya is okay. Yeah, toast plus kaya dipped in soft-boiled eggs. Okay, so we are getting there. This is getting a little bit browner than I would have liked, okay, but like I said, I want to make sure it's really crisp. This, by the way, is, if you're just joining us, this is actually fish skin, alright, specifically barramundi skin, because I had like these barramundi fillets that I found, like when I cooked the skin with the fillets, I found the skin to be really chewy and rubbery, alright, so I thought let's peel off the skin and fry it to a crisp and see if that actually helps. I know, like Alex, who is the sponsor of the giveaway, she is off to her post office to check to see what happened. Like you can do online tracking, but I figured I'll let her go to the post office. She says she's going to the post office to check. So fine. I want to say, look, you can just go online and check. And I didn't want to have to then go through like, oh, how you do it, because that just gets really painful. I hate talking through people. I hate talking through how to do things online to other people, because I come from an IT background, like, and I used to do tech support. I just find it painful to have to do tech support when I'm not getting paid for it. Barra, yeah, no. So yeah, you go to the post office and sort it out. But yeah, she kind of suspected maybe that that they got kind of confiscated by border security, but I'm not so sure because other Americans have received theirs, so could be anything. But yeah, hopefully they just delayed. Otherwise, I have to step up and offer something, to make it up to you guys who didn't get it. And those of you who didn't join us for campfire on Saturday night, we had some good stories, some interesting stuff. I'm trying to remember what exactly, but no, it was good. All right, so hopefully these will stay crispy. That's what they look like. Look good, right? Barramundi's skin. Let me just move this away. And I'm trying to figure out what to do with the rest of this fish. Whether I should mince it up and then stuff my eggplants with it. Let me just have a look and feel the texture. Okay, I always... barramundi fillets cost like 18 bucks a kilo, okay, compared to the basso fillets, which cost like $6.50 a kilo. But yeah, I'm trying to think what to use these for. Should I mince it up, guys, you reckon, or mince it up and then just stuff it like I do with the basso? I would have joined the campfire and I was playing Civilization 5 with some friends. Think I'm gonna win this time. You lame-o. Beer batter them? I don't have beer. Yeah, I could batter and fry them up, right? Huh? Trying to think. I don't even know how to make fish and chips fish. I'm so Asian. I'm trying to think. Vodka batter. I don't know. You assume I drink the hard stuff. The only thing I have is essentially sake. That was, again, you guys, I'll show you guys what you missed. This was my first ever Twitch giveaway. Look at that. How cool is that? I was given a few bottles of this by the guy who brought this into the country. This is essentially sake but made in China, right? And it's kind of like apparently taking off in kind of fancy drinking establishments around Sydney. And he gave me a few bottles to give away at the very start of my Twitch adventure. So some people got some of this. And he actually gave me 2 bottles, one large, basically one that was a premium version and the other a regular version. I forget which one this was now. But yeah, Chinese sake. I don't think it's allowed. They call it, what do you call it? I forget now. He actually, you know what? He actually wanted to give me like 50 bottles of these. I said, no, I can't afford. I said, you have to cover the postage. So he said, oh no, it's all right. Seriously, he wanted to give me 50 or 100 bottles. It is a beautiful bottle, right? But like, again, like this is perishable. I mean, not perishable. This is like fragile to ship, right? But yeah, that would have made a good giveaway, right? But yeah, I only hit him up for a couple of bottles. But he wanted to give me like cratefuls of them to give away to promote it to my audience, and say, no, I'm good. Because that would have cost me $1,000 in shipping. But this is the only alcohol I have about. No, actually, to be fair, one of my early guests on my live Asian kitchen actually brought a bottle of wine of some sort. I don't actually drink, so I don't. But yeah, should I batter this and fry this up, do you reckon? I'm not sure if I'm that huge a fan of fish and chips fish. Trying to think. It seems like a waste to puree it. Alright, I'm gonna put it aside. Think about it. I've got some crab I want to just like I need to shell. They're fried up and I was going to cook them on the shell, but they're getting so old now. This is like over a week ago that I fried them up. So this is what's called spanner crab here in Australia. I don't know if you can get it in the USA. But I bought this because it had roe in it, and I love the roe in crab. But I've been munching on it over the course of the last week or so since I fried it up, because I was too lazy to actually kind of finish it off as a dish. So I was munching at it to the point where I've only got like a couple of pieces left, so it's not really worth my while trying to cook up the rest of it. Isn't that just a shell at this point? Yeah, it is. I'm gonna use a spoon to scrape out what little roe there is stuck to it. And that's the other thing when you deep fry something like this, right? A lot of the roe kind of falls off into the oil, so it's a little bit wasteful. But yeah, I'm just peeling, move this thing away. Yeah, so what happened during a campfire? I'm trying to remember now. Oh yeah, you guys, if you're on Discord, you will have seen this guy. What's his name? Geppo Jr. When I started on Twitch like months ago, he told me, like, I forget what he said, but like, cause you get so many trolls and I'm not too like focused on them. But he said, I think he said something, you know, something derogatory about my ethnicity and stuff like that, whatever. So I banned him. And then suddenly, Saturday night during campfire, one of the other audience members said, oh, Geppo asked if he can unban him. I said, oh, who's Geppo? I don't remember why I banned him and whatever. Back and forth. I said, I'm not going to unban him. I don't remember what he did, but if he got banned, there's good reason for it. You know, go and troll some other, someone else, you know. You had your chance. Look, I'm not needy like that, all right? It's not like, you know, I like when people follow me, so that's very kind of you. But if there's no, if there's no mutual respect, there's really no point, you know. So I'd rather focus on a small group of people who actually like to do who actually like what I'm doing, than try and be all things to all people. And then okay, let's have a look at how my kaya is looking. Who got banned? There's someone called Geppo Jr. from way back when, but okay, wow, this looks a little bit frothy. I don't know why. This is the first time I've seen it look like that. But that's the kaya. But I'm gonna just blitz this. I know. You know what I forgot to do? I meant to actually leave the lid off, the cap off, so that the condensation doesn't kind of cause all this moisture in it. But let's just zip it first. Okay, so this looks a little bit runny, but essentially that's the idea. Kaya is kind of like a coconut. It's basically coconut cream, eggs, sugar, and pandan essence, which is essentially what I describe as Asian vanilla, and then just cooked in this thermocook. And usually, in all honesty, when I had my restaurant and before the days of Thermomix and Thermocooks, I used to actually steam them in a steamer for hours and hours, and then you get virtually like a custardy mixture. And then I'll use a handheld blender and blitz it to kind of break it up, all right? But in this day and age, I actually use a Thermomix to cook it, but it's still a little bit runny. I think primarily because like there was no way for the steam to escape when I was cooking it. So I'm just going to cook it a little bit longer, and hopefully that will help it reduce a little bit. Okay, I once, mutual respect, yeah. I once ended up making scrambled egg. Oh my god, it makes. So to try the natural products. I didn't try. I tried the. Wasn't you? Was it? I tried that Armor Force thing. Yeah, neti pot thing. I looked for the neti pot thing. I couldn't see it at my chemist, but I did find the Armor Force, so I took that, which is natural as well, and that's given me a total boost. All right, so I'm 100% better than I was this time last week. I'm not completely over the cold yet, but I think that's definitely made a huge difference. But I gotta tell you, the Armor Force thing wasn't cheap. It was like nearly $30 for a bottle of pills that only last me about 2 weeks. It was me who recommended the. Oh, was it? Okay, cool. Oh, there you go. Thanks for that. Yeah. Accidentally killed the stream. Oh, very cool. Thanks for that. Yeah, Bamselga. But the funny thing was, I got the name wrong. I think it was Armor Guard, and like the chemist was like looking up Armor Guard. That does sound familiar. You know, we're gonna have to look. You know, they were going through all their computer systems, couldn't find anything called Armor Guard, and then yeah, it is very expensive because first of all, you're only required to take 1 to 2 pills, but of course, you know, the fact that I was sick, you know, I decided to take 2 pills. So I've been on 2 pills a day, and at that rate, I will finish it in 2 weeks for $30. So, but you know, considering I've been sick for 6 weeks now, it's definitely worth it. But yeah, since I started taking it, I haven't had the headaches and whatnot. I haven't had to take any ibuprofen or any kind of painkillers, essentially. So yeah, it's great. Thanks to Google and found pictures, bring back memories. You're talking about the bread, Bengali bread. Bengali bread. Oh, okay, yeah, I'd love to check it out. Is it the same, Bengali bread and Hainanese bread? Who work in pharmacy are pretty used to people met. They were all like, it took like 3 of them looking it up to try and find it. I think, oh, I don't think we carry it, but it does sound familiar. And then, yeah. And then they said, we do have Armor Force. So I figured, yeah, I think that's it. But yeah, thanks so much for that. Oh, I couldn't see the neti stuff though, the nasal stuff. I would have picked it up as well, but well, I didn't ask them over the counter, but I was looking on the shelves and stuff, and I couldn't see it. So, but yeah, thanks. Next time I need medical advice, I know where to go. Twitch. Yeah, I'll do the announcement about the Bengali bread. I'm gonna have to look it up. I've never heard of Bengali bread before. But yeah, what I'm making right now is, apart from the kaya, the coconut jam, you know, coconut pandan jam, I'm also proofing some bread, right, which is what we call Hainanese bread. Hainanese is a Chinese dialect group in Malaysia that are known for very specific dishes, and they're most famous for Hainanese chicken rice, in all honesty. But they also are known, for whatever reason, they monopolize the traditional coffee shop economy in Malaysia. All right, so what we call kopitiam, which in Hainanese Hokkien means coffee shop, right? They're these high-ceilinged, tiled coffee shops that serve the coffee with condensed milk and whatever. That's what we grew up in Malaysia. Those are all run by the Hainanese. So usually the coffee shops are actually sublet to other food vendors. So you'll find within a big coffee shop space that you'll have like a number of different stalls within them, just kind of like little compartmentalized stalls, mobile stalls, right? That will, you know, one store might sell fishball noodles, another might sell wonton noodles, another might sell roti canai, you know, whatever, all the breakfasty stuff. But the coffee will be sold by the kopitiam itself, and also what they also sell are the Hainanese bread, okay, the toast, and this is what I'm trying to make. Hainanese chicken rice, yeah. It's getting to mango season. You've just reminded me, I bought some mangoes. I should have actually done something with mango today, actually. What happened to the story about that guy that got yeah, I got lost track of time. So Geppo Jr., I remember he said something fairly offensive and I banned him the first time around. And then he was still trying to troll me on via whisper, saying, see, I knew I got to you, you know, the fact that you would react, I'm just a 20-year-old guy and whatever and stuff like that. So I just ignored him. And then halfway through the campfire the other night, this other guy says, oh, Geppo asked if you can unban him. I say, oh, who's Geppo? Then I vaguely remembered him. And I said, no, you know, you lost your chance. And then he said, oh, you know, he promises he's changed. And then I kind of mocked him. I said, yeah, well, he's changed. You know, he will have had repented of his sins and accepted Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior. So, and then he came back. Geppo said he's now a Christian. I said, I don't buy it. I'm a really tough cookie. I have no reason to kind of like be soft on people. So I said, you want to, they say he really has something to say to you. Okay, well then go on to Discord and tell me. So he went onto Discord and he messaged me, please, I've changed 120%, all right? So what he ended up doing was creating a new account on Twitch. And then hopping back onto the chat on Twitch, all right? So you think he has something really important to say to me? What does he say? How's my future wife? So right away I banned that as well, all right? So I don't know what his deal was, but then he left a few more messages on the Discord server as well, so we just kind of ignored him. Weirdos. But look, Twitch, like by comparison to other platforms, is pretty mild, all right? YouTube is where I get most of my trolls. YouTube is where people will troll me about my appearance, about my accent, about my food, about the fact that I talk too much and whatnot, sort of thing. So yeah, Twitch is like a walk in the park, really. YouTube is bad enough that when I had a virtual assistant, I would actually get my virtual assistant to check my YouTube comments, because I refused to be confronted with new YouTube comments only to find that I've been trolled yet again. YouTube is so bad, I've had someone actually created a troll video of like kind of like distorted images of me on YouTube, all right? So for whatever reason, I attract all the trolls. Report for band evasion is a perma. Oh, is that right? That's interesting. The look, he, like I said, you know, the second time round, like the fact that he started off with like, oh, how's my future wife, was like, you know, it wasn't blatantly offensive, you know, but I just knew that it was going to lean that way. It wasn't the sort of thing. But I would certainly, if he continues on that path, right? Because people were worried, oh, look, you just banned him, but oh, he can just like create yet another account, you know. So, well, he can keep doing it and I'll just keep banning him if he does, sort of stuff. But all right, I will keep that. I mod a few channels, my tolerance of trolls. Hey, Wonder Dog, not worth it, they want to troll ban them. Something paranormal happened to him. I know, yeah, that's a good point. Maybe, you know, Edge of Night, maybe he did. But I've got some people with some good paranormal stories that night. And Soybean Jenny says she's got something personal, something like that happened to her that she wants to share with me as well. So she's got to get her act together, and then someone else got to get their act together to share something else with me, and then there was someone else. So yeah, make sure you guys keep an eye out on future campfires, you know. And he woke up and there was a hook attached to his door. Yeah. It's just so weird. I don't understand what these people get off on. Okay, so that's all the. It looks a little bit odd, all right, but the orange bits, the row, and now I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. All right, so I've got the fish, and I've got the crab meat. All right, the crab meat, to be fair, is actually cooked crab meat. But why don't we combine the two of them? I'm trying really hard to get your attention. Yeah, I don't understand. It's like I think he trolled me, like it would have been at least probably about 4 or 5 months ago that he trolled me, right? And then it's like, why does he suddenly want to come back? What's his deal, you know? And he was one of those like who didn't just troll me in the chat and then I banned him. After I banned him, he was actually trying to message me and I just chose to ignore it. So weirdo. All right, so what we're gonna do, ideally this would be raw, but it's not. But we're gonna blitz this barramundi fillets, and then we're gonna mix in the crab meat. All right, we're gonna make crab meat fish balls with these. How about that? Okay, so fish, and you know, barramundi fillets have less water content in them than the bass fillets that I usually use. So I think I can actually add a bit of water to this eggplant with fish stuffing. Yeah, look, I love the eggplant. I've done it so many times, and I've got the eggplant. I bought the eggplant, and it's sitting over there for waiting for fish stuffing. I don't know if the crab is going to actually be lost in the whole mix if I did use it as a stuffing. Well, I'll think about it. I might do. Okay, so we're gonna throw in beer batter them. Well, see, I don't have beer, right? And I don't, in all honesty, eat. When I go to a fish and chip shop, I usually have my fish grilled along with shellfish. In all honesty, I actually prefer like grilled, like a seafood platter as opposed to battered, you know. So yeah, that's me. So in goes the tapioca starch and white pepper and chicken powder. There's not a lot of fish here, in all honesty. And I'm gonna put a hint of sugar in it, alright? Not enough alcohol, I know. I've had beer in my house for years. Fish and chippy get grilled. I know, right? I know, I do, I always do. Yeah, I don't know. The British will claim that they make better fish and chips than we Australians, because I lived in the UK for a couple of years, but I don't know if I could tell the difference in all honesty. But then again, like I said, I don't usually eat fish and chips in Australia, you know. When I go to like say like a fancy fish and chip shop, like say like, you know, somewhere like say Doyle's by the sea or something like that, I don't order fish and chips. I order again like the grilled seafood platter, or order like say battered whatever, like prawns or something like that, prawns or oysters or, you know, calamari and all that. British and Aussie fish and chips are the same. You think they are? Okay, so this is how it looks now. It looks a little bit more bitsy, like as in less pasty than the barra fillets, which may not necessarily be a good thing. All right, I'm gonna. It's a little bit too wet as well. I think I got a little bit ahead of myself by adding the water in this. I'm gonna say add a little bit more tapioca starch. I'm gonna blitz it a little bit more. British fish and chips. We don't really do anything. No, we don't. Does all Australian battered fish use beer batter, or because that seems to be like their claim to fame, you know? I think so. We don't really do anything different. Okay, cool. Oops, this is not looking good. This looks a little bit too mostly beer batter. Okay. Okay, this looks like it's been over processed, in all honesty. But then again, it's only been in there for 10 seconds total. Okay. Usually when it loses that translucent appearance, it tells me that it's been over processed. Okay, but what the hell? We'll just go ahead with it, and let's throw it. Let's throw it into my crab thinger. Try vodka next. The reason beer battering works well is the alcohol evaporates. Vodka works much better. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, ceilings. Not all of us are hard drinkers like you. But what does it like? What does the alcohol actually do to it, taste-wise? Anyway, I'm never too sure. Like even with Asian cooking, when we add like the Shaoxing rice wine in some of our dishes, yeah, I'm not exactly sure. We basically drink hard liquor only. Yes, your whiskey. No kidding. Okay, so this is, like I said, this looks a little bit too. Yeah, to over process. Or I always warn people, don't over process your fish, because in the sense that like if the blade is like spun at too high a speed or for too long, the blades can actually start heating up and end up almost like pseudo cooking your fish, right? And usually when it does, this is how it would look. It looks like yeah, it looks almost cooked. Evaporates faster than water, leaving things lighter and airier. Ah, all right. That's why people recommend using vodka for flaky pie crusts if they can't get that. I didn't even know that. See, I don't make pie either. I'd say beer flavor adds a nice subtle touch to the batter. All right. I don't even know what vodka tastes like. I'm not sure if I do. If I've drunk it, I would have done it inadvertently, you know. But yeah, how interesting. Yeah, no, I don't drink at all. I don't go to bottle shops. I don't know what to look for and stuff. The only alcohol I have at home are like what's been given to me. And in fact, usually I get a little bit irate when people come to my place and they assume, because it's a very Australian thing. That's one of the other cultural things that I still have to get used to after 33 years living in a Western country. That Westerners assume that your go-to gift when you're invited to someone's house is a bottle of wine or something like that. It's like, I hate it when people do that, because I was like, I don't drink. Why are you bringing this, you know? But that's my problem. It just sounds fundamentally ungrateful, I know, but yeah, I do get a little bit annoyed when people show up with a bottle of wine. Or like you know, when like some corporate thinger wants to send you a gift to thank you or whatever, invariably it's either like a bouquet of flowers or a bottle of wine, neither of which I have any use for. Okay, so guys, PSA, don't buy me any flowers. Whatever you do, flowers to me are the biggest waste of money. One is useful to make sauerbraten. What's sauerbraten? I don't even know. See, you're assuming I cook Western stuff, which I don't. Okay, let's mix this up, and then we are going to try. There are like little lumps here that I'm trying to get rid of, like as in like shell bits, right? And I have a feeling I could probably add a little bit more chicken powder in this. No one likes being given a bottle of wine. Is that right? I thought it was just me. You just keep it in your house a couple of months, throw it out. Oh, come on. You're not serious though. Is that right? I thought it was just me being super Asian and judgmental about the alcohol's grip on society. Sauerbraten is the toughest, stringiest cut of meat you can find. Marinate in red wine or vinegar, Eastern Germany, and some spices. Then cook and use the marinade. Oh, right. A week? Holy moly, seriously. I had no idea about that. Let's have a look at the kaya. Okay, so this time cooked with the lid off. And there you go, there's how it looks. Okay, still a little bit runny for my liking. Let me just see if I can. It will actually, while it's hot, it will look more runny, but once it cools down, it will thicken up. I read somewhere about like this aged meat, right? The world's best restaurant has this aged meat that's aged for like, I don't know, like over a year or something ridiculous. Like I can't comprehend. It's like, doesn't it go like, isn't like that like eating rotten flesh? Okay, this is still kind of runny. Okay, you see it? But like I said, it will thicken up once it cools down. So I can actually continue cooking it and let it keep thickening up, or I can stop and just deal with it. All right. I think I'll stop and deal with it. All right, there you go. Let me just pour it into a jar. And that will be my kaya, or rather Noah's kaya, since he's the bread eater between the two of us. Too tough to eat reasonably tender red wine. So do you then roast the meat, or do you like grill it, or do you stew it? A bit of hangover from the USSR. By the way, guys, Highlinks is an expert on communism, all right, and the Soviet Republic. So you got any questions about it? Dry aged meat is good at 30 days to about 60 days, and it tastes weird until at least. Is that right? Usually roasted. Stupid. Is that right? Okay. Like I said, like there was something in the paper I read. It was like a year or something ridiculous like that, where they aged the meat, and supposedly it's like the world's best restaurant. And I can't wrap my head around it. But yeah, it's like eating rotting flesh. So there's still like a little few lumps of crab shell in this. Yeah, that's Hainanese specialty is the USSR. Trotskyism, Leninism, Stalinism. Stalin's her hero. I'm kidding. The bourgeoisie. Okay. I keep getting these lumps, and I don't know whether that's just like the cooked roe. I'm not a fan of beef aged that long. If you age beef, are you assuming it's soft enough to melt in your mouth? Richly musty. Oh, that sounds gross. That sounds gross. Alright. Soft enough. But there's no danger of it going off though, is there? Of having like meat like that, like actually poisoning you? Is there? A bit more. Okay, so this I would say is good for frying, alright? So I'm going to actually fry a couple of these as like kind of like fish balls and see how they turn out. Whenever I mention socialism, default to thinking I'm a Stalinist or autocrat. Then when you do meet a socialist, they're Trotskyists who in their right mind follow the example of Trotsky. See what I mean, guys? She's triggered now. Alright, there you go. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of how this is actually looking and feeling, but let's heat up some more oil and start frying a couple of lumps of this, and then I can decide what I want to do with the rest of it, alright? Whether I want to stuff it or continue frying it into bowls. Let's put this away. Let's have a look at how the dough's looking. This is the bread dough. Okay, it is very, very soft. Okay. And if you were kneading this by hand, this would be too soft. But thankfully, I've got this dough mixer, so it's actually staying in there. So, but it's nowhere near having risen enough. Okay, you should be able to press it, and it will stay indented. So let's throw this back in here. Kolantai. There's someone to respect. Kolantai. I've never heard of Kolantai. Okay. Let me just get something for my kaya. Okay. And guys, I'm not a Thermomix consultant, but you know, I'm not making any money out of this. But this is one reason why you would own a Thermomix. You can do something like this, like homemade kaya. Right, coconut jam. Like I said, this will thicken up a little bit once it cools down. And you do it without having to, you know, all you do is just throw all the ingredients in there and it does the rest for you, essentially. There you go. Durian kaya. I've made that before, yeah, that's right. I want to... Never had durian. Oh, you're missing out. Though in all honesty, I like durian fruit. So durian in any other form is like kind of like a not necessarily evil, but it's like, you know, it's something that you would eat if you can't get fresh durian. But if I had some fresh durian, I much prefer to just eat it as is than to use it, incorporate it in other things, because yeah, that's me. Been meaning to buy some from Footscray and Family Resume in the house. I think it might be illegal. No, it's not illegal to eat in public because. Okay, here comes my oil again. There's a nasty looking pot. So I'm just gonna heat up the oil and we're gonna fry a couple of drops of this fish pasty, crab pasty thinger. I'm thinking if I'm frying it out, I might actually throw in some diced onion as well to kind of like make it a little bit more interesting. And in all honesty, if you're Chinese, right, you would actually be pounding this till it's bouncy. Okay, right now it's like really kind of like just like a pasty. All right. Feels like such a waste of good fruit. Yeah, it is. I know. It's like, yeah. You know where I'm coming from. I mean, if I were eating, like, if I came across like a bread shop and they had like durian, like custard, like stuffed bread or something, I would buy that, right? Or if they have durian custard tarts, I would buy that. But if I had durian at home, I wouldn't be thinking, oh, this would be great in the custard tart. I just want to eat the durian by itself. Every time I grab this, I can feel like little like chunks of like crab shell, and that's not pleasant. Apparently back in 2014, Melbourne durian was opened up inside. That was chemical attack. That would happen, you know. That actually happened here in Sydney. About 2014, they made the news, but the Malaysian government was trying to bring in like fresh durian, or fresh in inverted commas, basically durian that's chilled but not frozen. And they brought it in and they stored it in some building and people thought there was like a gas leak and the emergency services were called in. Westerners, no idea. So I'm pounding this the way the Chinese do. The idea with the pounding is that it expels the air that might be trapped inside these, whatever it is you're working on, whether it's like a pasta dough or something like that. And in so doing, you end up with a product that's kind of like more rubbery, more when you bite into it, more springy, right? So it's thrumming. Similar thing happened at my job too. Tenants on the upper level thought it was gas leak. Just sent me over instead of calling the fire department. Again, I've got to point out that I'm not particularly happy with the texture of the fish because it feels like it feels stringy, if you know what I mean. It may just be that particular type of fish. Remember, I'm using barramundi as opposed to bass fillets, what I usually use. I have used other types of fish to make fish paste with and they didn't turn out. Again, you know, a lot of it is making fish paste is contingent on getting fish that's fairly starchy, like once you actually break it apart, right? There's some level of stickiness to it. Okay, so maybe barramundi doesn't make a good candidate. Durian is nowhere near as pungent. Surströmming. Huh, I'm gonna have to look that up. Okay, I think that's hot enough. Okay, so crabfish balls. I think surströmming is actually illegal in Australia. I think it smells heavenly. I know, right? Yeah. You know what I found out about durian in Vietnam? I was told by a couple of Vietnamese people because I asked them about durian, and apparently in Vietnam, the durian trees, they are all like kind of treated with pesticides, so they reckon the durian is not safe to eat. Therefore, the durian in Vietnam is actually imported from Malaysia. So damn all these people who are kind of like stealing our damn durians. But it gets classified as explosive by most airlines. Are you serious, Sister Ming? Really? Are you freaking serious? But yeah, a couple of Vietnamese people told me that all the durian they eat in Vietnam is actually imported from Malaysia because their own durian are either infested with like worms or just kind of like contaminated by a lot of pesticide. But I don't know whether it's just the climate in Vietnam or what. The fermentation happens in the can, and in a low pressure environment it can explode. Are you freaking serious? I thought you were totally joking. I thought you were joking about how how bad it smells. That is crazy. Surströmming is capable of exploding. See, Highlinks, you know about that too. I'd never heard of surströmming except via sea whiskey. Mm. Okay, it tastes to me like it needs more flavor, alright? Well, but texture-wise it's okay. So a bit more chicken powder. A bit more pepper. I like how you guys go to the trouble of putting in the umlauts and stuff like that. So basically, when you fry anything, you know when they're done, when they start to float up to the top, right? So these are floating. Instead, should give durian a run for its money. Huh. I've had both. Do you actually like durian though, sea whiskey, or do you like surströmming? This would be good, like I said, with like chunks of onion through it if I were frying, if I were making like meatballs only with these. And I'm contemplating, should I just make meatballs or should I stuff the rest of it in my eggplant? Let's stuff the eggplant. Let's turn this off for the moment. I'm going to bring a cutting board and cut up some of my eggplant. And I'm going to stuff them with this. I'm choosing to stuff it partly because the eggplants are on their last legs, because I bought them like about 2 weeks ago. Kind of spaced off that I had them, because I didn't keep them in the fridge. I kept them like in a box out here. It's my fridge. I need a new fridge, so any kitchen white goods companies out there want to sponsor me a fridge, come and talk to me. I mean, I enjoy it more for the discomfort it causes others. Okay, this has got a little bit of a dodgy hole here. Let me just try and cut it out. Hopefully there's no worm in there. Okay. So how do you actually eat surströmming? Like, what do you eat it with? So I'm just cutting these with slits down the middle, all right? And the fish crab paste is gonna go in the middle. I love this knife, by the way. I think it's my sister's. Fermented herring. You're the reason it's illegal. So do you eat it as like a sandwich filling, or how do you eat it? Like, okay, see, this one's not looking too crash hot. I'm going to throw that out. Neither is this. Yeah, there's a lot of this actually. So out that goes. I wonder if it smells like salted fish. Yeah. No. I wonder if it smells like belacan. Some Japanese scientists compared it to the other found surströmming has the most pungent, putrid smell of known foods eaten. Oh, cool. Okay, let's turn this back on. And let's see, the other thing about this, it lacks that stickiness, right? So it may struggle to stay in this cavity here, but we'll see how we go. Okay. Usually you would use a butter knife to do this, or a wooden paddle. Let me have a look at, let me see if I can download this shoe. Save as. Nope, that's not what I want. Acquired taste. And then you get sick just passing by the garbage. Let's have a look. Save image as. Okay. Downloads. Business. Save. Alright. Streaming. Let me add that photo of that shoe that's going to be a giveaway. That pair of shoes, rather. Downloads. Business. Alright. Where are we? Alright guys, can you see the shoe? I don't want it on my food. That's the shoe. Alright, you can see it. And that is courtesy of One Ground Footwear from New York. Oh, here's some information on the dreaded surströmming. Okay, I'll check it out. So that's the shoe. Like I said, that's going to be one of my upcoming giveaways. So the only caveat, no caveat, the only criteria is that you need to be a follower of mine on Twitch. So if you're watching this anywhere else, make sure you hop over to twitch.tv/Jackie M Food. That's my channel. It's free to follow me, all right? Just hit follow. Your name will go in the draw for your chance to win a pair of these shoes. They are yet to be released, okay? So They come in a different color. That's a good question. I don't know. Look, I haven't even read through the spiel much yet, but it's meant to be inspired by the Brooklyn Bridge, and also it is, let me just get rid of it before it looks awkward. It's made of leather, high quality Italian leather. It's worth hundreds of dollars, guys. And the company is offering a pair to give away to my audience. So guys, you want to find out more about it? It is at onegroundfootwear.com, all right? It's kind of like pork crackling. What I'm going to do, I'm going to finish off the frying in the air fryer, because if you fry this all the way through, it will become too oily, in all honesty. I like to actually nowadays, now that I've got the air fryer, which is an Optimum healthy fry, by the way, guys, I like to start off the frying in a deep frying environment and then transfer the contents into an air fryer to finish it off, because the longer it stays in the deep fryer, the more oil it absorbs, and you end up having to actually extract the oil at the end of it, which is what I used to do. I used to then drain this in a sieve. My brother, who makes this on a regular basis, he actually uses paper towels to absorb the oil at the end of frying eggplant. Okay, eggplant are like little sponges, so they absorb a lot of oil. All right. You could technically just cook it from start to finish in the air fryer, but it does need some oil for you to brush it with. Okay. And sometimes I don't brush it with enough oil, because it does take a lot of oil to kind of like get it to taste nice, really. I mean, if you're super healthy and you want to just kind of like brush it with a little bit of oil, that's your prerogative. I find it nicer when it's got a little bit more oil holding on to it. I've got to do my SES. What SES surveys? There you go. Tongs. Yes, I do. Okay, so in the air fryer for about 10-15 minutes. Student something surveys. Student something, yeah. Student educational whatever. Did the fish skin turn out? Yeah. Look, there you go. What do you reckon? Nice, right? Still crunchy. Still completely crunchy. Can you hear it? I haven't tasted it yet. I should taste one. I want to be able to take a photo of it though. I don't want to eat too much. Nice. Nice. It's a little bit tough, but I think that's the nature of barramundi. Like skin, it's not the recipe. It's more the skin. Yeah. We get them at the end of every semester, filling you out your surveys. You get put in running for $500. All right. Okay. You actually like fish skin? Yeah, sure. Fish skin is like the best part of the fish. What are you talking about? I love fish skin. I only eat chicken skin if it's been deep fried, alright? And there's no, like, no semblance of any fattiness connected to it. I don't like eating anything that tastes like it's like fatty, slimy. That's why I don't eat pork. I think the taste feels a bit rubbery for my liking. I think it might depend on the type of fish we're doing. But yeah, look, the reason why I fried up the barramundi skin is because it was rubbery, like when I cooked it other ways. I mean, steamed is okay because it's all soft then. It's whatever part they make sashimi out of. The belly, yeah. I do like sashimi. I take it back. All right, when I say I don't like anything tasting fatty, I do like salmon sashimi tasting fatty. All right. Trying to make sure I don't end up using like half a kitchen full of like appliances and like crockery and stuff, but I always fail and then I end up with a mountain full of stuff to wash up. Right, so this eggplant is on its last legs as well. I would have quite happily fried all this up as crab meatballs, all right, crab fish balls, but because the eggplant is dying, it's starting to get little bits of mold on it. I guess I should use it up. I love Japanese food. Yeah, me too. Not so much tuna sashimi though. Tuna's got too much of a bloody taste. Salmon and yeah, I mean, like, people love tuna sashimi. I don't eat tuna sashimi. I haven't tried kingfish sashimi. I only eat salmon, but I could eat that all day. But it's not cheap though, salmon sashimi. Yeah, I love Japanese food too. And actually Noah, my little baby Noah, when I pick him up from Bronte, I have of late been dropping in at Bondi, the next suburb up from Bronte. They're both Sydney Beach suburbs. We have of late been dropping in at Bondi, one of the Japanese eateries there, for Japanese dinner. But I think you get more variety at other Japanese eateries, but they're farther away to travel. So yeah. Sydney has got great Japanese food, but it's still a matter of actually like traveling out to the right places for it. As I always see on Facebook all these Japanese eateries like promoting their Facebook page, and I'm thinking, wow, this looks really interesting. But the Bondi ones, in all honesty, to me, they're a little bit like generic, you know. So they're nice, but yeah, it'd be nice to get something a little bit like fabulous. And Noah likes eating udon, so every time we go, he'll have a bowl of udon plus some sushi, and I'll have the sashimi and some sushi. The funniest thing about Noah, because he's Noah, in case anyone watching doesn't know, is my 5-year-old Down syndrome kid who's got a mental age of about 12 to 18 months, and he's severely disabled, basically. But he doesn't realize it. That's the funniest thing about him. He thinks he's like a little prince. And when we go eat out, like, he acts like he owns the place, you know. We walk in the door at a restaurant and he'll find himself a seat, right? He'll find the best table and he'll sit down and wait to be served. And that's what he does when we go to a Japanese sushi bar. So he'll sit on the high stool and he'll start like trying to grab at the food. So one time my booker came down to Melbourne, so we went to the famous Windsor Hotel's buffet. Windsor Hotel buffet. Oh, I'm gonna have to Google that. Eating nothing but sashimi, some stir fry and desserts. So they do Asian food at the Windsor Hotel? How funny is that? Yeah, you've reminded me. You know what? Before Noah turned 5, I was thinking, because a lot of these hotel buffets, they're like free for under 5s, you know. Before Noah turned 5, I was thinking, oh, I have to check out this buffet and that buffet and whatever, you know, so that we can still eat while it's free for him. But I missed the boat, so now if we went buffet, it'll be like, yeah, you gotta have a, yeah, you have to have like an easy $150. So if I convince my mom and dad to take me there for my birthday, why not? How much did it cost, by the way, per person? Okay, probably won't use all this up, but yeah, like I said, it's dying, so I need to use as much as I can. If you're watching on Periscope, Periscope hates me. I always say Periscope hates me because people jump on for 2 seconds and leave. If you're watching on Periscope and I didn't say hi, that's because my phone decided to go into sleep mode even though I had the app running, so I'm sorry if I didn't see any of your messages. Alright. But thanks for watching anyway. Good luck with your survey. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, if you win the survey, you won't need to wait till your birthday. That's a good incentive to get people to fill out stuff, right? The last time I filled out like a, it wasn't even a survey, it was to subscribe to a newsletter, a travel magazine newsletter, for your chance to win like a trip to someplace pretty exotic. I thought, well, that sounds alright. I know as someone who actually owns a mailing list and as someone who actually has a social media like accounts and stuff like that, it's not actually easy to get people to participate in any competitions, you know. Because people are, I think, a little bit oversaturated with like, you know, stuff like that nowadays. So I'm just going to make a ball out of this because that eggplant's not looking too healthy. But when you make it too hard nowadays, if you run a competition and you make it too hard for people to take part, right, you'll have nobody take part. I had someone who asked me to help pitch a competition. This is a couple of years ago, and she's also a food blogger. I can't even remember what I was offering them, right? So she promoted it on her page, and she said, okay, for your chance to win this, you gotta like my page, you gotta like Jackie M's page, you gotta share this, you gotta do like half a dozen things, and I think nobody entered, okay? And I went back and told her, I said, look, you're making it too hard, you know, because I don't need the extra likes and whatever, you know. You want to give something away, just give it. You know, don't make them like this and that and this and that and share it how many times and all that sort of stuff, because people just don't care anymore. I think the SES is for future students since you're giving feedback on the subjects. Alright, okay. Fair enough, yeah. Yeah, so I signed up for this newsletter, this travel newsletter, thinking that I stood a good chance to win, but I didn't win, so I started getting their newsletters every week. And after about 6 or 8 weeks, I unsubscribed. But that's the thing, you know, if you get people to do something with that kind of incentive, like if they've got no other good reason to follow you, you know, they're not gonna stick around, you know, they're only in there for the prize. But still, I do my giveaways really to reward my regulars, because you guys all know it's my regulars who win everything. A lot of you guys have won multiple times on my channel already. So. Okay, so these are the crab balls, right? Let me just try it. It's really good. And there's the coconut and pandan jam, so it should look like it should look like it's got a nice like greenish tinge to it. If you were using an artificial or one of those pandan concentrates, right, it will look a lot stronger and look less natural. And sometimes you see that. I'll show you what that looks like. So this is the pandan concentrate. How did the bread turn out? It doesn't look remotely blue at all. Alright, so that's the dough that's proofing. And I'm going to actually beat it down now. And we're not going to be able to stick around for it, because after it's beaten down, I'm going to then let it proof again till it rises right up over the top of the bowl, alright? So it's going to take a while. And this little tabletop oven, I find that even like it doesn't hold its heat for very long because the cavity is quite small, so even though I preheat it. And the idea with proofing bread is that in an ideal, the yeast needs like a warm temperature for it to proof faster, right? So even though I did preheat the oven, it lost its heat very, very quickly, right? What happened to the donation fund for your new mic? Did you reach your goal already? No, I didn't. I pulled the widget away because it was so distracting, but let me just pull it back up. I heart Desmond, thanks for following. Where is it? Is that it? There you go. So it's at the same level, 9%, 53 days ago. No, I didn't reach my goal. Alright, so this is the eggplant, this is how it looks, right? It's about 13 minutes in. And speaking of the pandan concentrate, like I said, like pandan extract, right? If you just basically like extracted it from like pandan leaves, you'll get like a subtle green color, but you can buy the concentrate and this is what it looks like, okay? So it's like a paste, it's like, it'll make your food look like it's radioactive if you're not too careful with it, okay? Right, that's what it looks like. And in between you can actually buy cans of pandan like juice as well, and they will look pretty much like that, what I used earlier, right? So the cans of juice are essentially water plus pandan leaves blended and then strained, and those cans of pandan juice you should be able to find for like about $1 each at your local grocery store. It's green blue. No, it's just pure green. So it will look very, very dark green if you use it. A little look goes a long way, and I try to avoid using this for making kaya because to me it looks really unnatural, right? So this is like using natural pandan, but if you use this it will look green. And I have seen other places, like other like business operators who use this for their pandan. It looks really, really weird, but that's just me. Okay, I'm gonna take this away and show you guys, right? So that's the eggplant, and what I'm actually in all honesty going to do with the eggplant is I'm going to actually later on braise it with some garlic and oyster sauce, and then I'll like stick a little bit of chicken powder in it, and then I'll thicken up the sauce with some tapioca starch, right? Tapioca starch mixed with a little bit of water and then toss through, and I might just add a dash or two of fish sauce, and what will produce is like a saucy, like a thickened sauce braised eggplant dish that it's really, really well with rice. But lots of garlic, fresh garlic though. Use fresh minced garlic if you can. So saute the fresh garlic. I know it's good, right? Saute the fresh garlic, and then like toss in the eggplant, douse it with oyster sauce, add some water to it, and simmer it while you add the fish sauce or chicken powder, right? Stir it around for a little bit. Once it comes to a boil, pour in like about equivalent to about 2 teaspoons, 3 teaspoons of cornstarch or tapioca starch, mixed with a little bit of water, drizzle over it, and that will quickly thicken up your sauce mixture. Stir it around, and then you can serve it up with rice. And okay, that's how I always eat. That's my favorite way of eating stuffed eggplant, so that's the best way to do it. And again, this is the crispy barramundi skin, right? That was tossed with some white pepper and some chicken powder, and then tossed with some tapioca starch, and then deep fried. Okay, it is still crunchy, but it does, like, it's still quite, it is actually quite tough. I think that's the a characteristic of the barramundi skin, right? But it's nice. Okay, and this was like leftover crab that was shelled and then added to some the barramundi meat, and then mixed through. No show 84. Thanks for hosting. So that's that. And you know what? I might actually cook up the eggplant, really, since I need to do it anyway. Let me just bring my pan here. So this is my stoneware pan, and I just need a little bit of oil. I'm going to use the and I'm back. Cool. I'm just going to throw in some of the oil that I used to fry the eggplant with. It's still quite warm, so I just got to be a little bit careful with it. Okay, a bit more. And I need garlic. The spatula. See, this is like silicone, you see? So, I know. It's like, I'm being lazy. So in this goes. This is just fresh minced garlic. If I had more, I would use more. Look. I'm gonna top it up. I meant the other one. What other one? I'm going to top it up with a bit more. No, don't run the scan, please. Okay. With some dried garlic, because I like lots of garlic. In goes the eggplant. Right. So this would be a lot more greasy if I had fried it from start to finish, right? And in the meantime, I'm gonna cook the rest of the eggplant. Metal one you started with. Oh, right, yeah. You mean the perforations. Alright, so this is the oyster sauce I'm using today is this one over here. Oh, this one, Mommy, thanks, you're very kind. Thanks. Thanks for the donation. Alright, so This is the oyster sauce I'm using today. This is from Thailand, and the brand is Mega Chef. And look, of all the oyster sauces I found on the shelves, and there are different grades of oyster sauce. All right, nowadays they're coming out with like premium oyster sauce, which means that they have more oyster content in them. And I'm finding that premium oyster sauces are not cheap, all right? This was the cheapest of the premium oyster sauces. And this is, like I said, from Thailand. And being Thai, the Thais, I've always told you guys, like their sugar a little bit more than we Malaysians, all right? So being Thai, this one actually has, this particular oyster sauce tastes sweeter than some of the other ones that I'm used to, okay? So I'm just gonna add some water here just to let this simmer. If you want, you can actually add some rice wine after you, before you add the water, right? You can roast, the same way you have campfire stories or campfire cooking. You can roast marshmallows. Vegetarian friendly. Are there marshmallows that are not vegetarian friendly? Not using gelatin. I have marshmallows made with marshmallow plants over 2 decades in the stores. Yum. Oh, thank you. You're too kind. All right, so this is the oyster sauce so far as the sauces. And I'm just going to put a little bit of, you know me, chicken powder, right? If you don't know what chicken powder is, it's basically kind of like chicken stock cubes, but in powder form, but nicer, really. So the brand I usually use is Knorr, K-N-O-R-R. And this particular variety, this one here says is Hong Kong labeled chicken powder, all right? I think I prefer the basic one. I bought this because, again, it was on sale, because apparently they introduced this. I buy a lot of my groceries from the same guy who used to supply my restaurant back when I had my restaurant. So his grocery store basically caters to a lot of Asian restaurants, right? So he tried to introduce this to the Asian restaurant demographic, and it didn't take. So so he sold them at a discount, basically. Right, so I was saying this particular oyster, so all different sauces, right, have different like nuances to them. Different brands of sauces have different nuances to them, all right? That's why with any Asian recipe, mine in particular, just keep in mind if it doesn't taste the way you expected it to taste, it may be because your particular brand of oyster sauce or soy sauce or fish sauce or whatever is different to what I use, right? So that's why you should watch me on Twitch, right, to see what brands I use. So I experiment a lot with different ones. But this one does taste a little bit sweeter than the one that you would find from Hong Kong, say, all right? But otherwise, I would actually add a pinch of sugar to this particular dish. Made with marshmallow plants. Marshmallow plants, is that right? I didn't know there was such a thing as marshmallow plant. Who knows how to make marshmallows from scratch? I'm sure you can make it like from scratch, right? Muslims and Jews need to be careful with them. Amber, hey, how you doing? Oh, thanks for subbing. Amber, Amber's like my longest serving sub. All right, so this is the eggplant. We're just gonna throw in, this is like tapioca starch mixed with a little bit of water, right? And so far we've got chicken powder, we've got oyster sauce, and we've got garlic. I'm just gonna throw this in, mix this around. And I'm just gonna add a dash of, you can't tell, but this is actually fish sauce. I'm just gonna add a dash of fish sauce in here. I do, so does soybean Jenny, so a lot more than I have. What, making marshmallows? Really? Oh, cool. I have a feeling I have come across how to make marshmallows before, but that'd be cool to try out, right? But I'd imagine you can't get them in that nice round shape. How do they get it in that like that cylindrical shape, by the way? Okay, homemade marshmallows. Do you use gelatin? All right, my bread is looking very, very soft. My bread dough is looking even softer now than it was earlier. Okay, let's just taste test this a little bit. Okay, so this is perfect. I'll turn it off. I did getting a whole of marshmallow plant. So you actually use a marshmallow plant? Seriously? So do you need a marshmallow plant to make marshmallows with, or find a recipe it uses? Okay. Here we go. Can you make it using agar? Because that's what Malaysians use. You can use gelatin if you're not vegetarian. Yeah, I'm not vegetarian. But if the gelatin source is like from pork, then I don't need I don't need to be messed around psychologically. Only because I don't eat pork. Okay, let me just get something to tart this up with a little bit. Where is it? Okay, here you go. So usually you would actually, like, if you have like spring onion or is that what you call it, echallots, or I don't know. I know someone that did using marshmallow plant. Don't talk to him anymore. Huh. Vegetarian marshmallows. If you are the marshmallow plant's most reliable way to do it, from what I understand, never used it myself. Yeah. I'm gonna have to Google what marshmallow plant is. I've never even heard of it. Okay. So you could actually like toss this through during the cooking process, the spring onion, by the way. All right, so this is the eggplant. I like it with a lot of sauce. You don't actually need that much sauce, all right? When my brother makes it, he makes it with a lot less sauce. I make it with a lot of sauce because Noah only eats sauce with rice, okay? But that's the idea. So this is braised eggplant. This is like Hakka style braised eggplant, and obviously we don't usually use crab meat in it, but I was just trying to use up my crab meat, and these are the crab meatballs. I'm not too big on eggplant, but like, I love eggplant. I love eggplant. And this is the fish skin, right? This is the kaya, the coconut jam. And the only thing missing is the bread. Well, like I said, the dough is too runny, all right? Look, I didn't deviate too much from the original recipe. All I did was add a little bit too much water to this, but see how runny it is, okay? Well, to be fair, I did add a lot of water considering I added the roux separately. So I'm going to actually you can see I'm still not 100%. So I'm going to actually let this rest some more, and it will eventually rise again, all right? And then I'm just gonna basically just scoop it into, well, look, that's it. I'm gonna scoop it into my bread pans as is, okay? The blue hasn't really come through, unfortunately, but I'm thinking maybe I'm just gonna sprinkle some blue through this, and then we are going to pour it into my baking pans, which I need to line with some baking powder, with baking paper. What did I do with it? Oh, here we go. Here you go. Let me drink. Alright, so let me just grab some of the blue powder, and we're gonna swirl it around with it. I use more eggplant for ratatouille than everything else combined. This Sunday I got invited to lunch after church. One of the people at church invited me around for lunch, and we are going to have, guess what, we were just talking about it last week, we're gonna have moussaka. Seal whiskey, but this is Australian moussaka, which is eggplant with, from what I can see online, because I've eaten moussaka maybe once in my life, it uses lamb mince in it. Alright, so this is my dough, right? So technically, you should have been able to handle this like a usual bread dough, but this is so sloppy I can't. But I'm not gonna fuss too much about it. I'm going to just pour it straight into my bread pan. And like I said, I've just tossed in some of that blue color, which, look, we're just doing this for fun, all right, the blue color. And then hopefully this will rise to 3 times its height between now and sometime early evening. And hey, Remy. And then I can then bake it at 180 degrees Celsius, which I think is about like what, 300 degrees or so Fahrenheit, for about 45 minutes, right? And in all honesty, usually I find this pan to be insufficiently deep for me to be able to let this rise sufficiently, because I want this to rise really, really high, right? So sometimes what I've done in the past is I've actually tried to prop it up with something a little bit solid. Like I've actually tried to prop it up with chopsticks on either side. That didn't work out so well. But if I let it rise to 3 times its size, I've had it so that it ended up kind of like virtually spilling over the sides of this thing. So I just gotta be a little bit careful. So blue bread, yeah, it's you guys' ideas, because everyone's in the blue flower mode ever since we did the giveaway. So it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. So what I need really, if anyone has any ideas, let me know. What I need really is something that will hold this up vertically, that won't burn in the oven, all right? So don't suggest plastic stuff, and don't suggest like paper stuff. But yeah, you can use cardboard cutout. Would it burn though, or you think? You think cardboard will burn? I've got some cheap brown paper. I'll figure something out. Wrap with foil. Well, foil is too soft. Foil will bend. Paper clips. Paper clips. Hi there. How you doing? All right. So this is my blue swirled Hainanese bread. All right. So we're trying to figure out some way to prop this up for when it rises to hopefully 3 times its size. Let's think, what else can we use? Paper clips. How do paper clips work? I want something that will actually create like a wall on either side of this, because I can't, in Australia, I can't find bread pans that are deep enough for the bread to rise high enough, right? Like I said, what I've done in the past is stuck some wooden chopsticks on either side of this and then tied a rope around the wooden chopsticks, but that didn't really work because they kind of went wobbly. So I needed something a little bit firmer. And anyone from New South Wales here right now, or no? Last giveaway was last Saturday night, just this Saturday night past, and we gave away some of these, courtesy of I Am Australia, but unfortunately these are only available to New South Wales residents because of shipping costs. All right, so it's a set of 4 sauces, and you've got like a teriyaki sauce, lemon chicken sauce, sweet and sour sauce, and hoisin sauce, courtesy of I Am Australia. So how many New South Wales people do we have here? Hainanese chicken bread. No, come on. Cut some cardboard and wrap it with foil. Ah, yeah, all right. Let's have a look. The cardboard I have isn't quite it doesn't feel very firm though. Cardboard and wrap it with foil. You see, it feels quite soft. It's more like brown paper than cardboard. a sauce man. You're a sauce man. If we have more than two NSW people, I will do a draw for it. Someone used cardboard and foil to make a square baking tray. Shipping boxes laying around. Cereal box. I just threw out some boxes today. Damn it! I don't have cereal box. Literally, I had boxes sitting around here for like several weeks. I finally threw them out this morning. Oh wait. Alright, speaking of boxes, I found one. Here you go, Australia, I know, right? Here we go. This is my box of goodies from I Am Australia. Whoops. Alright, let's do this. Eric the Banana, how you doing? So while I'm at it, these are some of the other products that I Am Australia makes and distributes, okay? I Am light soy sauce, dark soy sauce, which you've heard me talk about the difference between dark soy sauce and thick soy sauce, all right? Technically, dark soy sauce should be thick soy sauce, but I Am Australia is one of those people who kind of like made things a little bit confusing for some of us. But this is their dark soy sauce, which essentially is soy sauce but darker, all right? But dark soy sauce, growing up as a Malaysian or in any Malaysian recipes that we reference, dark soy sauce technically means the thick soy sauce, which now has had to be called caramel sauce just to distinguish the difference. Fish sauce, all right? Having said that, I Am products are great, all right? So I've always had a lot of faith in I Am products. I Am seasoning sauce. This is something that my mom loves. My stepmom has been buying it for years. I haven't for whatever reason, but that's just me. Sweet soy sauce, right? I Am sweet soy sauce. And I Am oyster sauce. Okay, which I think their version I think is gluten-free. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's gluten-free. Okay, and also like replayed good either cardboard usually seems optimist. I bake with them a high temp. See, you know better than me. All right, so these are the I Am products that I got sent, which I really should use in some of my upcoming broadcasts. But the ones that we're giving away are kind of like I kind of like the Chinese restaurant, suburban restaurant variety of sauces, okay, as in like as in like teriyaki sauce and lemon chicken sauce and that sort of stuff. Well, I'm gonna wrap these with foil per this one mommy's suggestion. Here we go. And let's see. That's too wide, too long. It was flat and accidental. Well, as long as it turned out. Okay, so I'm gonna, you know, it might actually spill out the narrow ends, but I'm gonna have to live with that, I think, at this point. So do we have more than 2 NSW people here? If not, we will defer the draw. And if you are watching for the first time, you will know that I have a lot of giveaways. So the latest one I have had like confirmed is for a pair of shoes. They're made from exclusive Italian leather. And it's from a company in Brooklyn, New York. And it's worth like, from what I can see from their retail prices, it's worth in the hundreds of dollars, all right? So that will be something that we will be drawing. Once I've talked to them a little bit further, I just sent them a quick email because they wanted me to help promote it. I said, offer me a pair to give away, and they said, yeah, no worries. So that was that. And also I've got the I Am sauces, as I said. This one, New South Wales people only. New South Wales, Australia people only, set of 4 sauces. I've got 6 more packs of these to give away. I've got the Lenovo mini speakers. I've got 2 more of that to give away. Speaking of which, shout out to Lenovo Australia for the laptops that I use for my live streaming and for monitoring everything, right? And chat disconnected. And alternatives, I'll go in person to pick. That's where you use the paper clips to keep the wax paper attached to. Ah, right. Okay. I don't have paper clips. Bummer. I think it'll be okay if I just folded it over. I think it should be okay. It's a good idea though. Alright, so this, fingers crossed, will turn out quite cute, alright, because it's got like swirls of blue through my bread, but this should actually technically rise to 3 times its height, and I'll bake it. Hopefully I'll find a hopefully my oven is big enough, the shelves big enough to take this. So I've got 2 Rode microphones to give away still, alright. They are the Rode microphones, and the Lenovo mini speakers can be sent anywhere around the world. And I have my next giveaway for the Rode microphone will be at, my next giveaway, put it this way, for either the mini speaker or the Rode microphone will be at 1950 follows, okay? And then my next, and then I've got the 2 barbecue units, Ziegler and Brown barbecue units. They're limited to Australian residents only. I have set a condition to them that I want to reach, because I actually own the barbecues by virtue of the fact that I created a bunch of content for this company, for Ziegler and Brown, in exchange for these barbecues, all right? So the condition is that I reach 2,000 followers by the end of November. If I don't, I'm going to keep the barbecues for myself and sell them, or give them to some deserving cause or something like that, all right? But anyway, so, and again, like I said, the shoes, all right? The shoes, if you want to check out their website, the website is onegroundfootwear.com, right? And the shoe is their second release, and it is called the Camilla or something like that. I'm terrible. And use string to clamp them, extra paper. So win-win. Use string to clamp them. I think it should be alright. It should be alright once it rises. You have any cooking yarn? I have like the regular string which does hold up. Like, you mean to just kind of like tie it around? Let me have a look. Like this. I'm actually sort of busy just lurking in chat. Okay, so I have used this rope. It's not cooking yarn, but it's it won't burn. Okay, so this is actually creating quite a narrow thing. But yeah, I don't want it to come out this way like your regular loaf baked in these kinds of pans. All right, I want it to come up vertical. All right, so hopefully this will turn out. Yeah, so I think that should be it. The only thing you guys haven't been able to see is the final result of the bread, which I will post a picture of in Discord. My Discord channel is bit.ly/discordjackie, all lowercase. You'll get an invitation to join my Discord server. So what we made today, these crab and fish balls, deep fried crab skin, the kaya, which is a Malaysian coconut custard jam with pandan flavor, the bread, and also the eggplant with extra sauce, because my Down syndrome kid likes the sauce. All right, so there you go. Yeah, thanks thanks Remy. Yeah. I'm gonna wrap up before my voice dies again. So thanks again for joining me, guys. Next broadcast is this Wednesday at 5 p.m. Sydney time. Wednesday 5 p.m. GMT plus 10, and I look forward to seeing you then. So yeah, make sure you yeah, like I said, you guys want to be in the running to be in the draw for any of my giveaways, make sure you follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/JackieMFood. All right, and I will see you on Wednesday. Thanks again, guys, and sorry about my voice, sorry about my coughing. Ciao.